How does sleep affect your diabetes? What is the direct connection between sleep deprivation, your A1C, blood sugar control, and your overall health? Sleep is usually an afterthought in our diabetes care. It takes a backseat to our diets, our exercise, and medications. But as you will find out through groundbreaking research, sleep is that missing critical piece of the puzzle that can keep you free from all the complications associated with having diabetes. And the right amounts can even reverse or prevent diabetes from occurring in the first place. Welcome to the Resilient Diabetic. This is the channel we turn ordinary, struggling diabetics into extraordinary, well-controlled diabetics. If you are brand new to this channel, I welcome you. My name is Jay Sampat. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that gray notification bell. That way, you will be alerted when new life-changing episodes have been published. And if you've learned something new today, please smash that like button for me. As with all my videos, this should not be considered personal medical advice. This is my interpretation of the latest research. If you want medical advice, please always consult your physician. Always approaching diabetes with an open mind and a sense of curiosity works wonders. How can I learn from my experiences? What can I do to improve? What can I change next time? These productive, uplifting questions motivate learning and action towards living that really healthy life. And yes, our diabetic tools are not perfect, but we should try and strive to learn something new, run different experiments, and improve our blood sugars, thus reduce or eliminate all the known consequences that will eventually afflict most diabetics. Sleep compromises a third of our lifespan, and what we do not realize, getting well-rested sleep is actually a mission-critical blood sugar strategy. As I've mentioned, sleep is usually an afterthought in our diabetes care. It does take that backseat to food, exercise, our medications, and even our glucose monitoring. Insufficient sleep is roughly defined as less than 7 hours per night for adults. What is remarkable about lack of sleep? It will impact our next day's blood sugars directly and indirectly, and will move every health metric in that wrong direction. And what is most concerning to us diabetics? For one, our A1Cs will directly be impacted. And how is that possible? Through increases in insulin resistance, the primary cause of type 2 diabetes, making diabetes worse and uncontrollable. For us type 1 diabetics, we have to then use more insulin. And the main concern for a pre-diabetic, poor sleep will push one into becoming a full-blown type 2 diabetic. Poor sleep increases next day's hunger and reduces the feeling of being full or satisfied after we eat. Not only does it drive more food consumption, but at the same time, we will make worse food choices of the foods we do eat. Study after study shows sleep-deprived people are more than likely to reach for junk food, especially high carbohydrate, sugar-based foods. So what then happens next? More out-of-range blood sugars due to our cravings and insulin resistance. So the cycle just repeats itself, digging us deeper and deeper into that hole. Poor sleep makes it harder to lose weight the right way. The body is more likely to use stored muscle tissue instead of body fat when dieting, which, as you know because you're subscribed, is the exact opposite of what we want. Why? Because it is that muscle that soaks up all of that glucose after a meal. The less muscle you have, the worse your blood sugars will become over time. Poor sleep also compromises our immune system. It makes it harder to fight infections and heal from injuries. It negatively impacts our emotions and mood and raises the risk of depression and anxiety. All critical for coping with that never-ending list we as diabetics have to overcome each and every single day. What you will notice, your overnight blood sugars will have a big impact on your next day's time in range. My personal daily target is a range of between 70 to 120 milligrams per deciliter. But even as an insulin-dependent diabetic, the more I learn about my body and experiment with that open mind, I can now actually keep my blood sugars even in a tighter range. And that is ideally between 70 to 100 milligrams per deciliter. If I spend all night high, especially over 150 milligrams per deciliter, and you will find out why shortly, that is the critical threshold, I am more than likely to fight high blood sugars the whole next day. If I spend the night in that low end of the range, I will have an easier time in range the following day. In one very compelling sleep study, they took healthy people who had no signs of diabetes or blood sugar issues. The participants were limited to sleeping 4 hours a night for 6 nights. By the end of the week, they appeared to have prediabetes when challenged with a standard dose of glucose. In other words, the lack of sleep all by itself moved a group of healthy people into the prediabetes range within, get this, 6 days. Numerous studies around the world have replicated this alarming effect of sleep on blood sugars. Another study done in the Annals of Internal Medicine adds a key piece to the puzzle by drilling down to that cellular level. Sleep deprivation, the study found, impairs the ability of fat cells to respond to insulin, that master hormone that regulates our metabolism and blood sugars. In that study, 7 healthy men and women spent a total of 8 days and nights in a sleep lab. They were allowed to sleep normally on 4 of the nights, and on the other nights, they were limited to just 4.5 hours of sleep. In order to neutralize the effects of appetite and or overeating, the researchers strictly controlled the participants' meals and calorie intake. After just 4 nights of sleep deprivation, blood tests revealed that the participants' overall insulin sensitivity was down 16%. Moreover, their fat cell sensitivity to insulin dropped 30% to levels typically seen in people who are obese and or who have type 2 diabetes. According to the researchers, this is equivalent to metabolically aging someone 10 to 20 years just from 4 nights of partial sleep restriction. Just as sleep affects blood sugar levels also then impact sleep quality. A study of people with type 2 diabetes found that those with higher blood sugars do experience poorer sleep. Additionally, research done by the University of Sao Paulo suggests that when blood sugar levels are above an average of 154 milligrams per deciliter, your body then produces less melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. Now you know why anything above 150 milligrams at night will hinder your sleep. Sleep is the most highly underrated diabetic tool we have, especially because it is changeable and has immediate positive effects if it becomes a priority. You can get more sleep tonight if you really wanted to. For me personally, getting 7 hours of more sleep changes my world around. How so? For one, my blood sugar readings will be in that target range the following day. No roller coaster blood sugars that are up and down, just a nice, flat, straight line throughout the day. Two, I will need less insulin the following day. Less insulin means less body fat accumulation and less body inflammation. Allows me to look like this pretty much year round. I will feel more energized for my morning fasted exercise session, which then adds to more insulin sensitivity. I'm definitely in a better mood and less frustrated over work, but at the same time, trying to take care of my young, beautiful, growing family. As many of you already know, I do work 7 days a week, and due to my essential business, I cannot even take a day off. I am there physically at work each and every day. But let me tell you, keeping those doors open for business and managing over 20 employees in this new COVID era has pushed me to the extremes of stress-related problems. If I add in a very worried, poor nights of sleep, then my responses will be different to that mountain of daily stress. Thus, my blood sugars are directly impacted even further. My body already takes a physical beating not only from work-related matters, but also from my 6-day-a-week intensive weight training program. I recover much faster and I'm stronger on the days I do get good night's sleep, which means I'm adding muscle and losing fat at a faster rate. What tips can I provide you towards getting those 7 hours of sleep? First, adequate sleep has to be a daily, consistent habit like everything we have in this diabetic world. We cannot fully recover lost sleep by catching up on the weekends or days off. Unfortunately, our bodies just don't work that way. The second piece of advice to improve sleep, which the sleep experts consider the most important attribute, go to bed and wake up at the same time no matter what, including the weekends and days off. They note perhaps this is the single most effective way of helping improve your sleep. Third, eliminate late afternoon, evening caffeine intake. Caffeine stimulation can last up to 8 hours in the human body. Many people fail to make that connection between that cup of coffee at 2 p.m. and the inability to fall asleep around 10. Even decaf coffee still has 15 to 30% of the regular dose of regular coffee. So, multiple cups of decaf can equate to one fully caffeinated cup. I would avoid large meals and even high volume sugar-free beverages late at night. The former can cause sleep disruptions through indigestion, while the latter may cause frequent awakenings to urinate. I'll add that large late night meal, especially if my stomach feels full, even if I've had very little carbs, can really increase my overnight blood sugars, which in my experience worsens sleep dramatically. And now for the bone of contention, even in my house. You want a very cool bedroom. Research shows that around 65 degrees is optimal for that deep sleep. Now, my wife is always cold and I am always hot. The temperature she would like it at would keep me sweating and up all night long. Make your bedroom as dark as possible, free from gadget lights, and remove all clock faces from view. I'll say that again. Turn all your light-producing clocks and alarms backwards. Clock watching adds to your anxiety at night and will make it harder to fall asleep. Rely on your alarms if you have to, but keep those times hidden. This is a new one I've learned that the experts really insist on. Don't take naps after 3 p.m. and avoid daytime napping entirely if you're having difficulty sleeping at night. Based on our body's relationship to daylight, circadian rhythm, our deepest sleep tends to be around 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. So even if we get those 7 hours of sleep, we are unlikely to have fallen into the most restful cycles of sleep if there are interruptions during that night. But what happens if we do get that really bad nights of sleep? How do we unwind all the damage that's occurred and reverse those pending insulin resistance and higher blood sugar issues? This study and many others show exercise has that potential to alter all those proposed underlying mechanisms. A single bout of exercise, especially intensive exercise, can positively impact glucose regulation for up to 24 hours, which brings back that insulin sensitivity, the poor sleep reversed. Our bodies are designed to heal itself each and every day, provided one, you give it the substrates it needs for repair and recovery. This again is focusing on getting the right amounts and kinds of superior protein each and every day. Second, as long as insulin is low and controlled, inflammation will be muted. Our bodies will be able to heal itself. Third, sleep. This is the critical piece that everyone seems to undervalue, where the body and the mind gets to reset itself. If all three are in play, you will be the healthiest you've ever been. Your A1Cs will continue to come down. Your blood sugars will be well controlled, and so will your emotions and responses to life's stressors. I have mentioned getting the right amounts and types of proteins is our number one priority for repair and recovery. So I will set up a playlist with more videos on protein. You will be exposed to the deceit, the misunderstandings doctors and nutritionalists are still taught today about protein. You will know the stories and the initial contrived studies behind all the fear-mongering on this critical macronutrient. Protein, as you will come to find out, is the single most important nutrient a diabetic can consume for the greatest possible health outcome. If you're on a desktop or laptop, I want you to use your mouse to click this upcoming box. If you're on a mobile device, just tap that with your fingers. The first is the link to subscribe to this all-important channel. The second is the link to the playlist on protein. So, have a great and productive day, and we will see you soon with another new episode, which are generally released weekly. Bye for now.